Why hello there, fellow chemists. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to Space Haven. Episode 5. The Push to Produce Fertilizer. We should see critical resources low go away pretty soon, because we have so much stuff that we can pull from the wicked bird. Oh, it also reminds me, we got the other miner bot, the miner pod, now that we have the infra scrap for it, so let's do a giveaway timer for mining pod. And that is up now. Because we have the Carver, but it actually, that's not the name it should have. Ooh, Marauder leveled up in construction. Take a look at his skills, he is now max construction. Cool. Logistics overwhelmed. Yep. I do feel a little overwhelmed. And we are going to pull lots of scrap. In fact, we might even pull so much scrap that we will need to add another large storage on the ship. I think it might be a little inevitable at this point that we will fill up on scrap. So, we'll see. Jumps from here. We've got ice and Hyperium and exotic ores to the north. The current mission actually doesn't tell us to go anywhere other than, like, rendezvous with the fleet, so I wouldn't mind exploring the system before we leave again. You know, for resources. So that's kind of like bigger picture, I suppose. Oh, I think I'm out of coffee. Alright. Cheers. These are set, yeah, these are set to continuous, good. Alright. All the beds are now set up correctly. We have a bed of root, a bed of fruit, and a bed of nuts. And we're starting to build up a supply of infra block again and hull block. I don't have any major ship expansions planned just yet. I think I'm going to hold on to the infra block for us to build a chem refiner once we have chem refining done. Because the chem refiner itself obviously will need infra blocks to be able to build, plus tech blocks. So we need 3 and 3. We have 3 and 2. So I'm going to save the infra blocks for that. If I was to spend it, other than that, I would probably put in end tables in the bedrooms, because end tables are going to make the sleeping comfort even higher. It's basically the best sleeping comfort you can have. People don't expect large quarters, but they do want end tables. Just how it is. Decorations don't even matter, which is odd. If you take a look at what the sleep comfort offers, like, as you can see, it doesn't even say, you know, that it matters, that there's lights don't matter, and all that matters is like the end tables. So if we end up with like 7 infra blocks, I might do end tables for them, for everyone. Yeah, time to expand again, maybe at some point, but right now almost all of our efforts are to scrap the Wicked Bird, because it's a huge ship. Is a really massive ship, and it will take a while to pull all the resources from that first. Pew, pew, pew. I sort of wish the game did a better job of, like, understanding if it was going to hit you or not. Oh god, this might be a fire. And it's a broken wall. And a broken med... Oh, hit our medical cabinet. And things rebuild on its own, so I don't need to queue it up. The only time I need to intervene is if pathing is an issue, which it isn't in this case. And this is why I want shields, because I'm getting really tired of getting slammed. How's the temperature, by the way? A little high, but like not terrible. We probably need another temperature thermal regulator around here where the recycler works. But that's another infra block that, well, you know what? I have it. Let's do it. Life support, thermal reg. Stick one right there. Because this isn't a thermally reactive zone, and it's only going to get worse if we go to one. Arkansas! You are a miner now. The Quack, the Bloody Death, and the Arkansas. At least Arkansas is like a proper naval boat name, right? Like that, the USS Arkansas or whatever. I don't know about a mining pod, though. Yeah, we have another breach. At least it was briefly cool here, you know, thanks to the breach. Another thing we could do is, let's do a little forelight right here, right in front of where we refine stuff. Because it looks a little gloomy dark there. Work. Yeah, I mean, it's... No, not sleep comfort. Work comfort. Ugh, it's just terrible there. So, how's our progress with the Wicked Bird? Still lots and lots and lots to grab. Got it. Bonk. One reason to compartmentalize your ship in a bunch of different compartments is if you do have major breaches, you won't leak out everything all at once if it's all individually compartmentalized. It is not how I've been designing it, but it could help if we adopt that design ethos going forwards. Because at the moment we have our farm, we have our leisure, we have this work environment and the hospital, we have all the bedrooms, and then we have the pod rooms individual, but we don't have this split up into multiple sections. So like moving the systems core, it's actually not unreasonable to move the systems core like up here, maybe? Okay. High priority. Please do that now, because we are lacking core points. Oh, there we go. So we have no more free core points. Oh, our storage is full. So with storage full, one of the issues with full storage is like, if you put storage down, you can't really empty it out until you've like... So I'm gonna stick more storage in the pod rooms, like small ones, but you can't remove them until they're emptied out. So like once you put them down, you're kind of stuck with it. You can't move it like everything else can move. But what I'm planning on doing is putting power and the system core like up in the bridge to free up more space back here. And I know I'm on like without power. To put more space back here for like infrastructure. Come on, guys. This is a high priority. Oh, you know what? Are we... Okay, Marauder, override, 4 hours. Then assign... I should have waited till like end of work day. It's my fault. Oh, and now we have a hole puncture? That just sucks. Alright, power's back on. But I did kill off all my crops because I was sloppy about the timing of that. My bad. Marauder, I put you on override. You're not anymore. Yeah, there goes the farm. It's really easy to lose your crops, as I've been mentioning plenty of times. But the reason I did that is work comfort is a little bit less obnoxious here on the recycler. So whoever's working the recycler isn't like doomed to hate it. And it really didn't affect the sleep comfort at all, as you can see. And it didn't affect the leisure comfort at all. So it's only better work environment back here because no one has to be near the power generator or the systems core constantly. So why put it where we work? For an extra, like, negative 30 or whatever it is totaled. Alright, how's the ship salvage? Infra, scrap, okay, cool. So we're out of info blocks at the moment, but I'm sure we have lots of infra scrap to be processed. And it's still screaming at me that I don't have hull blocks, which is kind of funny, because we're about to strip that giant ship of all its hull. Feel bad about the farm, though, but we do have 17 days of food, so I'm not too worried. And we have a decent amount of water, and fertilizer is going to need to go up, which is all the reason why I'm rushing the chem refining. Because without chem refining being a little bit higher, you'll find yourself very quickly out of food when you don't have fertilizer for your farms. So I'm trying to avoid that. Oh, and I really want shields, because our hull stabilizer's having to pull overtime dealing with all these asteroid strikes without shields active. Free botany XP, I suppose. Although he's as experienced as I need him to be. He's already 5. Or he's now 6. Oh, and he's almost maxed out at 7. Jazz, once he hits 4, will be able to help with fruits. But he maxes out at 4 and won't ever be able to help with nuts and seeds. And here was an example of Glitch and Jazz switching jobs for operations because Glitch got too tired. So they do a pretty good job about load sharing. You don't necessarily need to manually do it. Okay, so we're very close to having all the scrap, but the infra scrap is what we wanted the most, so I'm hoping to fully strip down that ship before we push off. Our weight is also creeping up towards the 2700 max, unless we add another engine. So I'm hoping to stay within weight tolerance too. Bit of an issue, but one that I don't think will pan out to be a problem. Another thing I could do, which would possibly help speed up metal refining, is to blow up these walls here so there isn't a wall between these two sections. I'm gonna do that. So the thermal... I don't know where to put this. There for now. It does mean that this area won't be protected from the pod room, but I could then put a wall in around here to separate out the pod room from everything else. So that the unpleasantness of this area is still contained, but the stockpile gets added to the rest of the zone. It might not work. I might regret the redesign, but we'll see. Okay, how are we faring? Just some infra scrap left, and then we'll be out of there. Perfect. I'm also taking the rubble, because rubble, I mentioned before, but rubble will slowly be able to create some steel plates, which is good for our ship stability. So rubble might sound useless, but like, unless I have a metal refiner to be able to turn basic metals and carbon into steel, it's my only other income of steel. So as you can see, steel plates made from the recycler, and that is made from rubble. Well, things are going kind of smooth. I'm sure I just jinxed it. But I'd really like whoever the builder is to start removing these walls. There we go. Alright, Glitch got around to it eventually. I could also move the tools So, this hull stabilizer... I don't really want to have to move the hull stabilizer. How do I use this space well? I can't? Really? I'm gonna move this. In fact... maybe up there? To sort of cordon off our industry in the back. And our, like, ship components up front. Something like this, with the stockpiles incorporated in, and maybe a door right there as well. Again, it takes more infra block, but like, I like this redesign. Oh, that's a big one. Yep, punched a hole in the floor. So how are we faring? Are we almost out of here? Yes. Yeah, we are done. So, before we leave, we can also collect all the ore that from the blown up asteroids. So fetch all the ore from the surrounding area that we've generated through our point events before we depart. And then we'll probably want to move these pieces before we go as well, because the work comfort and leisure and all that is affected as a result until we're ready to go. Come on. Get to work. But mood's at 81. So, ate too much? Really? Seriously? Guys. We don't have that much food. Okay, so still collecting the ores. Let's go ahead and, yeah, these asteroids are going to rip us up if we don't rebuild that soon. Please build that. All stability is back. So what I was going to do is to cluster industries tightly so that they're a little bit easier to maintain. Opening up a lot more floor space so that it's easier to put new facilities in here, because it just wasn't laid out in like a good way prior. So work comfort. Yep, we separated out the pod stuff with the work stuff, so it's a little bit better to work around here. Not great, but better. All of the necessary areas have been collected, so let's go ahead and spool up the drives and get on out of here. Our ore resources were severely impacted by a wipeout explosion of a section of hull containing our ore. This will severely impact our industry production capabilities. Be on the lookout for an ore cloud. We are in dire need to replenish our ore storages. So ore is critical, and they want an ore cloud or a mega asteroid field. So what that will look like is some of these zones will have like a modifier next to the zone where it will say, like, there's Exodus fleet resources in that area. And we need to be on the lookout for something like that to be able to replenish the resources. That would make them happy. So we'll have to keep an eye out for that. For now, I'm just going to be re-upping my ice and Hyperium. How's the research going? So chem refining, it's moving. Glitch has been so busy, it's hard to get him to focus on camera finding because he's farming, he's manning the operations console. Now, if I want him off of operations, let's say I do, to help him out a little bit. If I go to the scheduling, the priorities, and lowers operations, and raise Jazz's, Jazz will be the one to normally wait to man the point defense instead of Glitch. To allow Glitch a little bit more rest so he can do more research and botany instead. Because Jazz is our construction, mining, and industry. And we're not really falling behind on that. We're falling behind on research and botany. So just changing those priorities a little bit to help out. Now, the other thing that's going to happen once we move the water pure... Actually, you know what? I don't even like those spots. I want the water purifier here. Have I moved the... Yeah, I guess I moved the tools. So I should have let them move. I'm going to put a water purifier closer to the recycler. Because it is a high power node thing. Cheers. That's going to be unpowered. That's fine. I'm going to move the recycler next to it once I move the wall heater. And I'm going to cluster my high power objects together tightly so that the node doesn't have to cover so much distance. And we're about half done mining. And maybe, just to be cheeky, I'll put my ore refiner like there. That should work. So, high priority. High priority. So I got water and recycling there, and the bills don't get deleted when you move them around, so it's fine. Okay, almost done mining. Perfect. So next hop is going to be ice and more exotic ore, and I plan on sort of circumnavigating this area before I go back to the sort of quest zone that it wants me to do. I'm taking my time. I'm not min-maxing the main quest, I'm just doing it when it's convenient. How's that work zone? It's a little better. It's not perfect. It's not horrifying like it was before. And that's going to be on the high-power grid because it's adjacent to the reactors. Perfect. So the other thing I was considering is if we do have these physically walled up, is I could, where's the light source here? I know I have a floor light, but I feel like there's another light source around here that I'm just not spotting. But I could separate out the recycler from everything else, so it's, like, nicer to work in this area. Because the ore refinery kind of, like, works on its own. So let's see. Stick a floor light here. And I'll try that out. I might not like it, but we'll try that out. Why can't I build there? Is there... What? What's blocking me? I'm not even sure. What is blocking me? Is that where my floor light was? Because I don't see anything that should be blocking me there. It's a very fine question. Alright, we still have stuff left to mine. That's crazy. Time to save and reload? Yeah, maybe. Once everything gets moved, I'll do that. So our current storage, 230, 5, or 3 and 4. Okay, so we have lots of storage left. That's not a big issue. I'm super not sure why it's, like, preventing me from building. So, take a look at the overlay. We don't work around here, which is the most unpleasant. We don't really work around here other than the operations console. So... yeah, that's fine, that's fine. It all looks fine. Now, the other thing I had mentioned that I wanted to do is to put in bedside tables for the bedrooms once we can afford them. So, there's nothing really stopping me from doing that. We have the infra blocks now, so I'm going to get that done and make the bedrooms even nicer. And that should help with mood. I mean, mood's already 90, but, like, it will go even higher. So if you take a look at the sleep comfort, now the sleep comfort is 25, not 20. And leisure comfort is like 55, 60. I mean, it doesn't really get much better than that. I'm going to do a quick save and load. So, stream 1 mid. I don't know. Give it a fake name. See if this helps me out for whatever was blocking me from being able to redesign that part of the ship. It seemed strange to me. Yep, that's all it was. Alright. Work comfort. Yeah, separating those two out, it's going to be a little bit nicer. Okay, I don't think... yeah, there's really nothing left here now, so let's just collect the ore. And skedaddle. And this is a dead end, so when we want to leave, we'll have to jump all the way back. We still have an ore wipeout modifier, and I haven't found any like reasonable spots to help the Exodus replenish the ore, which is to be done. Because these small nodes aren't what they're looking for. So I don't see any hot spots or cold spots in the ship. Oxygen's good, CO2's good. Sweet. Now we are out of system points. So if we want more system points to be able to install like additional power grids or something like that, we will need to invest in system core. So we'll either need to build the tier 2 or tier 3 by knocking out the level 1 that we have. But either way, that's a big investment. That's going to cost infra blocks, which we aren't going to get by mining. So I'm hoping that once we leave this system and go all the way back to the frontier, Omicron, we find derelicts and we can start getting back to modifying the ship and expanding a little bit. Because I don't want to keep spending our coin for the infra blocks, because that's kind of expensive. You find a lot of infra blocks from ship salvage, so that's the way I'd like to get it. And the double mining pods, helping out a little bit, but we aren't mining as like a super high priority. So taking a look at the priority there, that's because Jazz is our miner, and he's really busy with operations. So I'm actually going to put Glitch back in charge of operations so that Jazz can hoover up the stuff that we need to mine quickly. I also don't think it's necessarily a bad idea to put Marauder and Ocherat on like neutral priority for mining. And a little bit more industry as well, because they have the ability to level up. They just need to invest time. So they're not bad at it. There we go. Now we have 2 miners. That should help. So 81 days of oxygen, and that's not even an accurate count because we have a lot of water stored as ice. 15 days of power, which we could do better, and that's a bit of like just finding where the power is or investing in the solar, which is what I'm trying to do. We're still attempting to get chem refinery, and that's not even the priority, but that's because we are completely out of fertilizer, like entirely out of fertilizer, so that's actually the most urgent, I would say. And that's to be done. But we're getting pretty close to having chemical refining done. We'll add that, get our fertilizer that we absolutely need, and then we can start to invest in like power grid and productivity and the like. Alright, we're all mined out, so hoover up the last of the exotic ore and basic ore, and we'll get out of here. And we will now have a whole bunch of exotic or smelted stuff to be able to sell, right? We're starting to get base metals and noble metals, and that's from our mining. And it's not worth a whole lot, but it will bolster our bank accounts a little bit. You know, sell them for like 80, 90 bucks, which isn't nothing. You know, it adds up. So there's not really any point to stopping to any of these places. So I'm just going to auto-target or auto-jump all the way to target because we've already gone through all these zones. So there's no need to detour. And what we haven't done is we haven't gone down here, which has a lot of good stuff. And this is a scannable zone too. But I don't have a scanner and I'm not going to be able to research a scanner within a reasonable period of time. So we're just going to keep going. And what I probably will end up doing is dropping into this zone, mining it, and then possibly going over to the Exodus fleet if they have favors that they want. Well, let's drop in here and resource exploit. Oh, rogue bots. Oh, that's fun. So rogue bots are kind of like asteroids, but they'll attack you. And I don't have shields yet, so this is going to be annoying. With any luck, oh god, and it's also a very high thermal zone. So this zone is not somewhere you want to stay for very long. We are going to need another thermal wall regulator here. At least one, probably more than one, I'd imagine. And there goes all my hard-earned info blocks. So, rogueblocks. Are they attacking me or are they attacking the military base? Please, military base? Yes. The military base smoked them. Because this thing is an asteroid base that absolutely will eradicate them. I haven't asked for permission to visit, because this isn't like a leisure base. You would need to, I believe, seek permission to visit the thing. But in terms of trade... They do have raw chemicals. I wouldn't mind that, actually. I'm going to buy all the raw chemicals because not having any fertilizer puts me at a huge risk of not being able to provide for my people. And then I'll sell the base and noble metals that we've refined up from mining and smelting to pay for some of it. So I like that trade. So we're mining chemicals here, and then we're going to trade for chemicals as well. Do you use the prestige research to give tech boosts? So what I was planning on doing is eventually shopping for stuff. Instead of, like, tech boosting. So I have plans for the prestige, which is why I'm not using it yet. But it boosts it incredibly. With that said, you could also, like, let's say you wanted scanner research. If you found derelicts that had scanners on them, that will also help boost your research as well. You gain some insight into the technologies when you break it down on other ships. Space is dangerous enough. Without us, it would be far worse. Okay, Captain David Osman? Sure, whatever. Running a prison station. Big Warden energy. Incoming ship. It's a cultist ship. So you only really start to have to worry about stuff when you're getting pirates. Oh, that's gonna suck. Yep, that sucked. But we don't have pirates yet. We're in a pretty safe zone. Well, safe from, like, pirates, not safe from asteroid strikes. But the good news is, sitting next to a military base, if rogue robots attack us, they'll very likely also mess with them too. They'll keep a little bit of heat off of us. So we're up to 19 chemicals, which is a lot, which is great, because we're down to 0 fertilizer. So this is our last growth until we get more fertilizer. What do they want to buy? Interesting. I have a lot of energy blocks. I'll sell one, I guess. And buy some artificial meat. 1 artificial meat. It's not much. Some tofurkey. Oh, it's Crispy and Milk. I know that ship. It's fun to see the same ship names. You know, space is small in this game, and seeing the same ship names over and over really makes you feel that way. So we haven't loaded our airlock yet for the trade, so Crispy will stay here until we do. If trade doesn't work, you can, like, cancel it. You go to the trade screen again, and you can reopen it and cancel your previous trades. So there's sometimes... Oh, God, that's gonna suck! Yep, it's fire. And a breach. Sometimes, if you're, like, trading, let's say, food, and then you end up eating it, you'll need to reassess trade. And you'll have to cancel what your trade was, and then, like, do a new trade. And that happens pretty frequently. A military alliance ship. You can see them on the star lane here, coming in. Alright, so how's chems going? We're almost there. Glitch is 41 basic research away from finishing. The rest of my fleet is idle at the moment, except for like doing a little bit of botany. So we might want to zone somewhere else because the mining is done. So I'll probably leave once the military alliance ship comes in, just to see if there's anything I want to trade with them before departing. So the Ace of Spades. Cheap space food. Really cheap space food. That's, I'm gonna buy some of that. Help bolster our food numbers. And then I'll sell soft blocks, which is like furniture blocks, because we have 19 from salvaging ships, which is way more than we need. And then I'll buy 2 more artificial meat. Rounding up our diet. So space food is just like ready-made food, like packaged meals. You don't ever craft it yourself. It's just you have it. But it was so low price, I figured, you know, why not? So I went from 14 to 16 days of food, and we'll also have some artificial meat to be able to serve up. Thank you for tuning in to Space Haven, which originally streamed live on Twitch. If you have any questions for me, let me know in the comments below. I am not, however, looking for feedback. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow Haveners.